Listen. Make sure you like this video as you are coming in. Make sure you like it. Thank you. What is up, y'all? It's your girl, Brand New. And, honey, I am back in the building. Listen. Okay. This time, honey, there is beef in these YouTube streets. Okay? Child, we got Giving You the Real Tea versus True Tea. He's dragging her. Empress Radio is dragging True Tea. The people is putting y'all clips up on the Facebook, honey. I just want to let y'all know that y'all stuff is being screen recorded and put up in other places. Leasing. Okay, but what is going on? I thought all was well. Okay, I thought all was well. What is going on? And I'm really shocked that Terrence is involved, Giving You the Real Tea. I'm shocked by him because Terrence, for the most part, he be, sitting on the dock of the bay, minding his own business. How he get, involved in all this? We talked before about Empress Radio and True Tea having issues. So I'm not shocked by them, honey, okay? Because y'all know women's, honey, can stay mad at each other for a long time. But what is going on? Look, who said that? So one person asks, Giving You the Real Tea, why are you getting involved with this? People DMing you, they are doing that just to start-ish. And Giving You the Real Tea says, don't start that ish. I was minding my own business. And the nerve of y'all to think that I'm just supposed to allow it. You can allow people to disrespect you all day. That's not my jam. Enjoy the gags or don't watch. Another person says, y'all are sick. This woman is always harassing someone. They're talking about True Tea. And when people respond, you idiots come to the responder questioning them on why they are responding. Question her as to why she always has an issue with someone and why people can't respond. And that other girl has so much mouth for everything else and scared to not do what TT want. She probably feel like she owe her, so she's letting her do all the dumb-ish on her page. Another person says to Giving You the Real Tea, I just want this mess between the content creators to stop. Like, what's the purpose? It's not even fun no more. They just need to give content and that's it. So Giving You the Real Tea, he ends up saying that he has always had grace for True Tea and has never checked her on anything. He, would keep his comments to himself. You know what I'm saying? Stay out of drama. He was always, I guess, told to come for her, because she has a slick mouth. But he feels like he's always looked at her like, similar to himself, right? So that's why he never called her out on anything, because he said he kind of liked her. Which is very, that's interesting. So it's just like, what is going on? Okay, and then didn't, True Tea is back on YouTube, right? She's back, guys. I believe I seen her channel. I don't think she's using, what is the girl's name? What is her name? Okay, her name is Here for the Hot Tea. Okay, so y'all remember she was a strong supporter of Melody, and I'm sure she still is. So Giving You the Real Tea, he starts talking about how True Tea's channel got taken down because she, was out here bullying little kids. Now, who is he talking about? He talking about Empress Child. I believe Empress Radio had mentioned True Tea had said some stuff about her child. So Giving You the Real Tea calls out True Tea for using somebody else's platform. I think he's talking about Here for the Hot Tea. He began dragging her, saying that's against YouTube's guidelines. So I guess he's trying to imply, she still hasn't learned her lesson. She don't follow YouTube's rules. So I guess somebody told Giving You the Real Tea that True T was talking about him on her website, calling him a bitch ass nigga. Ooh, child. He also mentioned that True T was playing, I guess, some of Wente Talks audio on her website. Child, it is a mess. It's a fool. Okay, I was reaching to try to cook some breakfast. Look, not breakfast, breakfast. And it's just all this damn drama. I just swear this damn YouTube, honey, it just goes on and on and on. You don't even have to watch Lifetime no more. Okay, just go on YouTube. go on down to the Facebook, honey. These people done sliced and diced these people's commentary up, and it's just like, damn, what is going on? I thought all was well. I thought everybody was working to get along. Okay. Child, what do y'all think about all of this? What do y'all think about all of this? And all of the people, it's sad, they got big fan bases. They're loved by everybody. So I don't know. It don't even, I don't know. It don't seem like before it was kind of about like Love and Marriage Huntsville, and there were people that was accusing Empress of acting funny with Melody, and acting as if she don't like Melody. They was accusing her of always using her picture, to do her commentary. So it don't seem like Melody, thank God, honey, has anything to do with this. Love and Marriage Huntsville. Well, he did mention something about a court case, which is probably, related to the show. Damn, I thought I was going to be able to take Love and Marriage Huntsville out of it, but it's a lot, honey. Ooh, child, Giving You the Real Tea, played some audio of True T calling him a bitch ass nigga. Ooh. So on the audio, we can hear True T saying that, she was told that Chef Don Don and Giving You the Real Tea are very disrespectful to women. They hate women. So it sounds like True T was getting on Giving You the Real Tea for being cool with Wente Talk and Empress. So, and being all, in their chat. So I guess, she didn't like that. Child, it's a mess. And Giving You the Real Tea saying he's always been cool with them, and he don't know True T like that. He ain't never really had no problem with her. So, I don't know, child. It's a mess. Let's shake a bone and get the hell on. Because, honey, it's too much going on, honey. The girls, though, they are out here fighting, honey. And speaking of fighting, honey, the people still got a lot to say about Miss Jackie Christie and Chantel Christie. The people are still dragging Chantel. One person says, well, you got mollywop for being toxic while approaching toxic. Hope you find a mediator outside of TV. Good luck. Another person says, so Doug allowed Jackie to be so toxic towards his kids and didn't say anything. Now I can see if it was a single parent home, but to have both parents and this still happens is crazy. Let me say something about this. Like I told y'all before, I do believe Jackie was a toxic parent. Okay? I told y'all, I do believe she did some damage to them daughters. I do believe Jackie is male identified and Jackie worships the ground that Doug walks on. I believe that. And I believe, like, when you have that type of woman, those type of marriages normally will last since the man is on a pedestal. Okay? So, like I said, I don't think any of us disagrees with the point that, Jackie was not the perfect mother. But let's be honest, who is? Okay? Evelyn wasn't a perfect mother to Shanice because, per Jennifer, Evelyn allegedly had Shanice paying the bills. Evelyn, at one point in her life, it looked like she used to chase dick. It did. I'm a very alpha woman. Normally, I don't judge women that, like to have their fun with men, but you can tell by Evelyn's past that she was on some of the same type of shit Jackie was on, putting her men on a pedestal. Because how many times did y'all watch Evelyn's show when she was on the OWN network? And I believe I heard Shanice tell her mom, yeah, you had several boyfriends that I didn't like. That didn't stop you from dating them. You still married the one that I couldn't stand the most. Okay? Evelyn has a way of being a hypocrite towards people. She lives by double standards. Because she over there criticizing Jennifer for being with Christian, but shit, it wasn't too long ago. Jennifer was warning her about Ocho Cinco, and she didn't want to listen. Even she had the same issue with her daughter when her daughter was over there with the guy Zat, and Shanice was gonna move, out of town with him. And Evelyn was like, no, I don't think you should do that. And Shanice was like, I bet if it were you, you would do it. You do whatever you want to do when it comes to men. So some of the same shit that Evelyn is trying to get on Jackie for, her ass is guilty of it. She ain't been the perfect mother. And I think that it's a lack of integrity when you get involved in your castmates' business with their family, specifically their children. I think it's evil, and I think it's nasty work. And Shawnee O'Neal should be ashamed of herself. Okay, because the people been dragging her too. Okay, so y'all remember the YouTuber All About the Tea? She still got her blog. So she calls out Shawnee, and she says, I blame Shawnee. It's one thing to stir up drama for TV, but bringing a daughter into it, especially knowing Jackie's history with her kids, is just wrong. Family drama has no business being used for a storyline. Yeah, Shawnee has a way of using Jackie as the scapegoat. Her and Evelyn are very abusive to Jackie since they are so worried about Jackie being abusive to Chantel. I feel like they are very brutal to Jackie because we already saw this in season 6 with Takari, and I felt like a lot of that shouldn't have been on the show, but yeah, they don't mind sinking Jackie to the wolves. Okay, and telling Jackie the type of parent she should be, all the while instigating, okay, all the while using this for a storyline. And Shawnee and Evelyn, they would never do this with their children. Never. And what really gets me is when Jackie was trying to have a talk with Chantel, they were still blaming Jackie, even when she would stay around. Why the hell would she stay around to have a conversation with her daughter and she's not supported by the group? If she walks away, y'all say Jackie is running. If she sticks around, y'all on Chantel's side. Y'all not trying to hear what Jackie has to say. Okay? She's damned if she do, she's damned if she don't. Either way, guess what? It'll be Jackie's fault. We will blame her. So let's see what the people think about this. One person says, I blame Shawnee and Chantel. Shawnee did encourage a lot of events, but Chantel has always been spoiled and disrespectful. For Shawnee to enlist Chantel to join the high school gang of bullying was wrong, and for Britney and the rest to get in the middle of their family issues, what goes around comes around. Another person says, I disagree. Jackie mentioned that her and her daughter has made some appearances on the show in the past and was paid for them. Jackie was fine with her daughter being involved, but she didn't expect her to come on and stir up a whole bunch of drama. Oh, and speaking of somebody from the Basketball Wives cast, Britney Renner, she's being dragged by Masika Kalisha, who told Britney by next week she'll be a Buddhist for back shots. The two go back and forth after Masika said Britney played with them people's religions for dick from Kevin Gates. Masika says, girl, go to hell. Oh, wait, everybody's speaking the same truth about you. But you mad at me, lol. Bringing up irrelevant deflections don't change the fact that you played with God for dick. Next week, you're gonna be a Buddhist for back shots. A Christian for Christian Dior. Girl, shut the fuck up and go pray. Ooh, child. We got to pray just to make it today. And we pray. Pray. Y'all remember Hammer Honey? Shout out to MC Hammer Honey. That's how Miss Robinson got her start, honey, okay? The girls are fighting, honey, okay? They are fighting. So Britney Renner responds to Masika and says baby mama number 3 who faked a kidnapping to promote their irrelevant OnlyFans. Since we're on the topic, religion is not exclusive. I never signed up to be one of several people. I never signed up to be one of several. People are allowed to change their minds, and plenty of relationships aren't meant to be, but not meant to last. Masika says, here you go, dumpster diving through the same old tired lies. Nah, Lucifer, I never fake shit like you. I was filming a TV show about sex trafficking where my character was beaten, kidnapped. It's crazy because I was defending your disgraceful SSA when people knew you was faking religion for dick. Ooh, child, what is going on? Okay, what is going on? Child, and it looked like most of the people are Team Masika. I'm Team Masika too. Britney Renner is disgusting and deplorable. I did not like her trauma bonding with Chantel, being up Chantel's ass, trying to make Chantel her puppet, being in the big 3 of it all. Her and Denise and Chantel, to me, they were all whack. I felt like Britney should have stayed out of Jackie and Chantel's situation too. But instead it was, yeah, but you don't have a toxic mom and my mom is toxic just like Jackie. Bitch, your mother is not on the show. Go get you some therapy and stay out of these people's business. Okay? And take them damn sheets and curtains from off your damn head. What the hell wrong with you? Oh, and did y'all hear what Britney said to Takari? Ooh. So Britney said, I guess to Chantel, at Chantel Christie, how soon they forget. Laughing emoji. You wrote a whole book detailing the way you were allegedly treated at Takari Lee. By the way, I actually read it. It felt very rushed and overall like a long text message. At first, I thought that Chantel said that to Takari. You probably wanted to send it to her directly. Your cry for help didn't matter then because it never will. Do you care about the truth or do you want to be the only one to tell it? She isn't going to love you any differently, get you on the show, or take a sudden interest in you, your life, or your children. So you gain what exactly? Terrible ass sister. And Takari says, look, you guys, the big 3 are here. So Takari says at Bundles of Britney, allegedly, but your homegirl made many appearances validating everything I said until she started messing with her dad's prospects and and got knocked up and needed mommy and daddy's money, so she switched up, allegedly. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So, ooh. Messing with dad's prospects. So, Chantel got these men from Doug. Well, they are basketball players. He probably knew them. I don't know, child. I don't know. And that's why Chantel came out and started dragging Takari about the Section 8 of it all, saying she should have got some prospects. So one person says, Britney really needs to have several seats. It's almost like she enjoys adding fuel to an already raging fire. She needs to bring her own mother on the show. I'm really waiting for Jackie to do the same thing to her as she did to Chantel, honey. Another person says Britney is really family trauma bonding, allowing her trauma to associate herself with Chantel for a fake storyline. Yep, that's what she's doing. Another person says Chantel and her mom are a mess. I'm sure Jackie wasn't the best mom, and Chantel probably has some type of trauma, but she also needs to find some peace and some counseling. Thank you. Both her and Jackie don't seem to listen and overtalk. Nothing will ever be solved, and Britney needs to stay in her lane and work on her own healing. If she is on this spiritual path, then she needs to show it. I know that's right, child. It's a mess. But yeah, the content creators out here are very much so divided when it comes to this whole Jackie and Chantel situation. I stand by everything I've been saying. I feel like Chantel was wrong for not just pushing Jackie, but just pushing her to the limit, period, because I actually did watch the show, and Chantel originally had this big issue with Brandy, and all this stemmed from was Jackie not having her back. Jackie allowing her to be an adult and work out her own issues with Brandy. Then Chantel acted very childish. Okay, she played the whole divide and conquer game where she told Brandy, see, I don't know why you have her back, Brandy, because she was talking about you. Yeah, she was talking about you the whole trip while we was in Vegas. See, y'all don't need to have her back. You know what I'm saying? We saw her individually go talk to Jennifer and try to get Jennifer to take her side. She also went to Ty, invited Ty to the baby's photo shoot and wanted Ty to take her side. Okay, that's a very immature, unhealed person. And then a lot of people are saying, oh, you guys are celebrating Jackie whooping Chantel's ass. Nobody is celebrating, but we all know what a build-up is. It's the same thing with Kenya and Portia. When Portia dragged Kenya at that season 6 reunion, I could smell that happening from a mile away because Kenya kept antagonizing her. The same thing with Chantel. She kept antagonizing Jackie. She kept calling Jackie by her name. She kept trying to pick fights with Jackie. Jackie would walk out and she would call her mother all type of goofy bitches. None of the ladies ever corrected her. Okay, y'all want to keep saying Jackie is so wrong. Jackie is still a person. And your mother is a human being, ladies. Before she is your mother, she's a human being with her own trials and tribulations, her own traumas. Okay? Jackie, I believe, grew up in foster care and was treated a certain way. I think we saw a therapy session with Jackie, and she, admitted to being away from her mom for, a long amount of time, and she was just treated badly, her and her siblings, when they were in foster care. None of that is an excuse for her to treat her daughters any kind of way, and the whole colorism claims, that Takari made against her. All of that is wrong. But Jackie is an imperfect human being. She is. And the way to get through to your mom is not to call her by her name or call her all types of bitches, to push her physically, okay, mentally and emotionally. That's not the way to have a productive conversation with your mom. Okay? So, and I'm going to say this because I hear a lot of people saying, well, you shouldn't have to whoop your child's ass to get their attention. And, you know, Chantel don't deserve that. Listen, I didn't have to whoop my daughter's ass because, hell, honestly, just me yelling, just me raising my voice, you know, that was enough for her. She got the point. But please stop acting like there ain't all these ghetto ass kids out in the world where sometimes you gotta meet a motherfucker where they are at and you gotta speak their language. And that's a truth that I'm willing to tell. So all this, well, if you would just talk to your kids and if you would just be the bigger, all that shit ain't gonna work with some of these kids. I told y'all how my mother had to whoop my cousin's ass while we was out of town. And guess why she whooped their ass? Because she told them several times I was there to get back to the room on time. We were out of town performing. My mother was in charge of our suite. So she was in charge of us and some other girls that was with us, a part of our group. Everybody else listened to my mom's instructions and directions. But no, the two that was brought up in foster care, that's who we had the most issues out of. And I'm not trying to throw shade, or I'm just being very honest that when people go through foster care, they have a lot of unhealed trauma from dealing, with that particular situation. And they don't always listen. And, growing up in foster care, I've had so many cousins, you guys. They are very ghetto, rebellious, disrespectful. They are very ignorant, entitled. These the same motherfuckers. I think it was the girl was their sister that interrupted my daughter's birthday party. And if you've been here for a long time, I told y'all about that situation several times. Look, don't make Miss Robinson go back down memory lane, because I will on that ass. But it's that same, behavior. And birds of a feather flock together. All these women are related. They're ghetto. They are entitled. They don't listen. These same bitches was telling me how to raise my daughter. I'm like, well, your daughter you better not raise your daughter to be stuck up like you. Excuse you. I'm free to make whatever decisions I want to make for my child. I am free to invite who I want to invite to my daughter's party. But that's that ghetto ass, trifling ass mindset that a lot of women have, where they feel like because they have proximity to you, they own you. And you go do shit the way they want you to do shit. But yeah, I almost cussed their ass the fuck out. But I cussed I had to go off on my mother because she the one that invited them. And she did admit she was wrong. Because I don't do ghetto. I really don't. I will cuss a ghetto bitch out in a minute. That is some shit that I don't like. I don't like that ghetto shit. I can get on here and cuss with the best of them. I could be ghetto. I could be a bit hood, but I leave it where it's at. I'm a person, I can go hang out at the White House. I could fit in anywhere. I'm not just one thing. You just can't put me in a box the way you can some of these people's, honey, that's down to the first floor to act like they ain't got no goddamn sense. But I digress. But yeah. So back to my cousins, because there was some judgment, on that trip, and people was like, well, why would your mother do that? And my mother had to do what the fuck she had to do, because I'm here to tell you, if she would have been, well, if you guys would just come back to the room, and you guys were so wrong, and she had to talk to them ghetto motherfuckers and meet their ass right where the fuck they was at. And this is also, this is also like, you know how you're trying to love somebody and they can't receive the love because simply you guys are not resonating on the same frequency. You guys are not able to have a meeting of the minds, you know, because that person, you know, it doesn't matter how nice you are to a certain person. If they hate themselves, they're not going to receive your love. So you got to speak to their ass in a certain way in which they can get the damn message, you know. But like I said, and I was always praised for this, you know, me being a parent, people would say, dang, do you ever have to whoop your daughter? No, because I feel like if you parent the right motherfucking way, you wouldn't have to do that. I have conversations with my daughter. I did spank her when she was a child. I sure did. Because I wanted her ass to get my motherfucking drift, get my message real quick. I would tap them hands, honey. Okay? So I'm not one of them people that's so above giving people an ass whooping. Because sometimes they need it. I'm pretty sure if my mother would have been over there with my brothers, hey guys, could you guys just settle down? Could you guys just listen to what I have to say? I didn't have that type of mother. She didn't play that shit. Okay? She didn't play that shit. My mother was on some fuck around and find out. You know, they were boys. They knew she was a single parent. And a lot of boys are like that. And like I said, a lot of boys in the household, you know, they need a father. They need some type of example, somebody to look up to. Because a lot of times, that's the only person they go take criticism from. Now, this ain't everybody, but, you know, it is the case a lot of the times in these single parent households. But yeah, my mother, you know, she had to do what she had to do. Because these niggas, they wasn't listening to her. They was like, fuck what she talking about. And I even remember in my last relationship, my ex, he would have to, you know, he probably ain't the best example because, you know. Look, we won't get off into that. Look, we won't go there. We can. Who was that? Phaedra and Nene. We can. But what I'm saying is, and I've had this in other situations because I've dated, you know, single parent guys where, you know, it was the man that had to talk to the son. You know, because the son refused to listen to the mother and he just saw her as a woman, somebody he could run all over. But when a man entered the equation, look at Bryson and look at Nene. And for years, people would be like, why Nene cuss that boy out like that? Why she have to talk to him like that? She had to talk to that nigga with some strength, with some bass in her voice. Greg tried talking to Bryson. And sometimes you can get everybody to talk to your damn son or child, and it just don't work. Some kids, they just don't fucking listen. Okay? In the words of my mother, honey, they cruising for a bruising. So some kids you can talk to. You know? Some kids just don't listen. They hard-headed as hell, and you have to speak to them in a certain fucking way where they get the point, where the message is clear from the messenger, honey, okay? So, yeah, I'm just so sick of all this, woe is me, we feel sorry for Chantel, she's a motherless child, she got her mother, okay? Parenting is not perfect. I don't believe that anybody should be putting anybody down for not being a parent, because there are a lot of people that do have biological children and they still don't know how to show up and be a fucking mother at the end of the day, or be a father. So just because you got children, that don't make you a mother, that don't make you a father. You know, you train up a child in a way in which, you know, you want them to go in the right way. Okay? So I believe that's a Bible scripture, honey. Y'all know Miss Robinson don't know her scriptures like that, but y'all get my point. Okay? Y'all get my point. I had to paraphrase that, honey. Okay. But let's see what some more people is saying about this. And really quick, before I get into some more comments about this whole Jackie and Chantel situation, the highest act of love for Chantel to do with her mother is, number one, like I said, she needs to let go of the money. She's over there sitting on a high horse judging Takari for being on Section 8. Bitch, you probably one paycheck away from being in Takari's situation. And then, did y'all notice how Chantel accused Takari of being jealous of her? Yeah, so y'all know what she's giving. To me, she's better than Takari. That's another aspect that she doesn't want to talk about. Because with a bitch like Chantel, it's always somebody's fault. It's never hers. Okay, she'll never admit to where she's wrong. There's no humility. Everything is Jackie's fault. And like I said, Jackie is wrong for setting up this dynamic, because Chantel felt awfully comfortable getting real nasty with Jackie, which means they've had this type of argument before in the past, and mother and daughter should never talk to each other like this. I chose to go no contact from my mom to keep from disrespecting my mother. I was at a point where I was getting ready to get real disrespectful with my mother. And to prevent from doing that, I had to walk away. And Chantel, you need to walk away or do like Isaac Hayes said and walk on by. But you're going to have to leave that life insurance money alone. And a lot of people, you guys, they're not willing to do it. They claim to have all these damn standards, values, ethics, decorum, but you need to stand on business and separate yourself from your mother if you can't help but disrespect her. Because you had a choice as a grown woman. You're grown now, right? You had a choice to come on this show. You chose to come on the show. You knew what the show entailed. You knew that the show was toxic. Okay? So, yeah. One person says, two things can be true at the same time. Jackie E is toxic and her motherhood is questionable. And Chantel is damaged and repeating history. It shouldn't have gotten physical, period. No, Chantel should have walked away. How many of these content creators are talking about that? They feel like Chantel was justified to put her hands on her mother because she's angry. Because her mother, put her through so much abuse growing up. Okay? So, I just feel like if Jackie was so terrible, why did you come on the show with her? Why is she in your life? So another person says, it seems to me that the fish is rotten from the head down. Like what Iyanla said to Miss Evelyn, Jackie's mother failed Jackie and allegedly abandoned her, so she grew up abused in foster care. Then Jackie repeated the cycle by abandoning her kids with her unfit mother to chase Doug. The harm that came to Jackie as a child is due to her mother's abandonment, and the harm to the children was due to Jackie's neglect and her mother's hand in it. The fish stinks from the head down. They need therapy, not reality TV. Yeah, and then, like I said before, Shawnee O'Neal or Shawnee Henderson or whatever the hell her name is, she still has not changed. Because why is this on our screens? Why you didn't get Brother Keon to talk to them? Utilize your husband. And to me, Shawnee is the type of woman where she's willing to, bow down and acquiesce and act like she's changed to get her man, Savannah. But girl, you still the same bitch. You still not a good person, Shawnee, because you wouldn't have aired this. But they are always willing to use Jackie, like I said, as the scapegoat to do their dirty bidding. Shawnee is willing to do that. She would never let Evelyn be in this predicament. Okay? Jackie is the sacrificial lamb for basketball wives. Damn the Sacramento Kings. Jackie is the sacrificial lamb for basketball wives. She is the mascot. Okay? I also, like I said, I agree that you don't have to be a mother to mother. There are a lot of women that are very gentle, very kind-hearted, very sensitive and vulnerable to, children's feelings. Even though they don't have children, they still know how to show up for children and love them in a way in which they need to be loved and guided, right? But another person says Chantel is too angry, which is an indicator of something deeper she may have experienced earlier in life. Chantel has also came out and said that Takari has violated her. And Takari has did some of the same things to her that Jackie did. Okay? Chantel has talked a lot about what other people have did to her. And like I said, you guys, it's wrong if Takari did anything to her, if Jackie did anything. Okay? All of it is wrong. What I'm saying is, Chantel, what are you guilty of? Because you probably have did some malicious stuff to Takari. Okay? You calling her a Section 8 queen, trying to discredit her argument in this battle is crazy to me. Then you was on Jackie's side. I read y'all the messages. The IG posts, of Chantel getting on Takari. That's when she was Team Jackie. She also defended Jackie back in season 3 against Orlando and Drea. And then, I didn't like what Drea said to Chantel. I think Chantel prettier than Drea. But Drea has that whole mind state of, I'm light-skinned, I'm small, and I'm pretty. Drea looks like an ostrich to me. She's not that, I don't know. Malaysia gives more than Drea. Drea is a beautiful woman, but I didn't like how she was trying to make it look like Chantel was not good enough for her man Orlando. I'm like, girl, this nigga will sleep with her. If he's sleeping with you, he will sleep with her. She's prettier than you. Bitches be killing me. The woman be looking all better than you, and you sitting up here, no, my nigga would never. He would. He would. Another person says, I'm not Team Jackie or Chantel. They both need help. This was a 2-parent household. Why are we only talking about Jackie? What was Doug's role in all the toxicity and disrespect? Doug was probably on the road, staying out of stuff. And I don't believe that that's the right approach either. I hope that over the years, he's talking, he has spoken to Jackie about her behavior towards the children, because I don't think that they are lying. But another thing that's interesting is you never hear the son coming out saying anything about Jackie, so maybe he didn't have, the daughter's experience. And some mothers, they really show their ass with their daughters. They don't show it with the sons, because they have a favoritism of the sons over the daughters. And they have that because they can't deal with the self-hatred of themselves. So when you have a daughter, and Beyonce said it best, my daughter introduced me to myself. That daughter is a mirror. And it looked like Chantel and Takari were both a mirror that Jackie was not willing to look in, because she would see herself and she wouldn't want to deal with herself. You know what I'm saying? So those daughters, they hit a little bit different. But yeah, Jackie is a woman that, she's had issues, survival issues. But yeah, all of them need therapy. Takari, all of them. Because now the sisters are going back and forth at each other. They wasn't doing this before. Oh, child, they saying Make It Make Sense is gonna be talking to Takari. I'm gonna have to check that out. But anyways, honey, that's all I got to say about all this.